Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a video on something I've wanted to talk about for a while, but I wanted to rewatch this show before I kind of got all my thoughts down and stuff. But recently, Sam and I just rewatched for the fourth or fifth time the new DuckTales series, the reboot that came out in 2017. I've wanted to talk about this for a while because I absolutely love this show. I was very skeptical when they announced this reboot, especially being someone who absolutely loves the original DuckTales. I was very skeptical about them rebooting this show, and it took me a little while to actually get started on this, mostly because there wasn't a really great way for me to watch it because I didn't have cable or the Disney Channel or anything like that. So it wasn't until Disney Plus launched that I was actually able to really watch this show all the way through. Even before then, I had the pilot episode on DVD, and then I had a DVD that I think had the first like 6-ish episodes on. I have those, but after that, I had no real way of watching this show again until Disney Plus launched. Even if you are a die-hard fan of the original series, you have to give this show a chance if you haven't already. Like, it's been out for a while. It came out almost 10 years ago at this point, so you gotta watch it. It's so amazing. It's so great. Like I said, this was like my fourth or fifth time rewatching it all the way through, and it holds up. The jokes are still so funny, and I had so much fun rewatching this show. So anyway, I just wanted to do a video just talking about how great the new DuckTales is, because I freaking love this show. So like I said, this video is a little late because this show did come out in 2017 and it's 2025 now, so it's been out for almost 10 years. But yeah, I just rewatched it, so I thought this would be a perfect time to kind of like make my notes as I was watching it and my thoughts and opinions on this show, and really kind of like put together a little bit of like an essay kind of a deal on my thoughts on it. So like I said, this came out in 2017. The original show started in 1987, obviously by the same name. And growing up, I really loved the original DuckTales series. I actually have all of the episodes of the original on DVD, which is awesome. You can watch them on Disney Plus, but like I said, I was really disappointed when I could only watch a few of the episodes of the reboot on DVD, but I have for the while had all of the episodes of the original series, and I've rewatched that I think twice, mostly for my Disney movie marathons. I've rewatched all of the episodes, and it was actually during my second Disney movie marathon I had back in 2018 through 2019 that I finally got a chance to watch some of the episodes of the new series. Because I had them, I just never had a chance to really watch them, and then having my marathon, finally had the opportunity. But as I said, I only got a chance to watch the pilot and then the next 6 episodes following the pilot, and right away I knew I really liked it. I knew if I had the opportunity to continue, I would. If there was ever DVDs, I would 100% buy them. And then with the launching of Disney Plus, I obviously finally got that opportunity to finally watch all of it. At the time when Disney Plus launched, they had season 1 and season 2 out on Disney Plus, and then eventually, I think in 2020, they launched season 3 on Disney Plus, either in 2020 or 2021. So in this video, I will be saying some spoilers about the show for all 3 seasons. So if you have not watched the show, please go watch it. It's so good. If you liked the original series, you will definitely like this one. And I will explain in this video all my reasonings why I love this so much more than the original series, which says a lot because I really liked the original series. This is your warning. If you haven't watched it, I will be going into spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, see you next week. But that's your warning. You've been warned. Spoilers are coming. If you liked the original, I promise you will like the reboot. My best and favorite example I can give of someone listening to my opinion about it and then watching it was when I visited my friends who live in Ontario. I was on that trip that I met my best friend's boyfriend, and we obviously talked because we were meeting each other. I don't know who mentioned it first, probably me because I never shut up, mentioned that I love the new DuckTales series, and he said he had never watched it. He never got around to watching it, and I told him, "Kate, you gotta watch it. It's so good. I promise you, you will really enjoy it." So this was on like the Saturday that I met him. We chatted please watch DuckTales. That night, he went back to his place. My friend and I stayed where we were. And then the next day, her, me, and our other friends, we had like a whole excursion adventure. And then later that night, just my one friend and I met up with her boyfriend and we had dinner. And at dinner with him, he told me he was already on season 2. So that's my example right there, that like, it's a great show. And like, if you love Disney and you love DuckTales and you love that sort of thing, you gotta give the show a watch because it is just so much fun and it is so good. Let's actually get into the series now and talk about the series, the story, the characters, all that fun stuff. So if you've watched the show, immediately off the bat, one of the first things you'll notice is that the iconic DuckTales theme song is there. It's the same theme song, however, it feels like it got like a modern day facelift, and I feel like that's the best way to describe the show in general, that it just very much got like a modern day facelift in the sense that all the characters are just more modernized and improved, and they just like look and just are so much better than they were in the original show. First of all, I could literally just tell you that David Tennant plays Scrooge McDuck, and that could be the end of this video. Like, I literally could start this video and say, watch the new DuckTales, David Tennant is Scrooge, thanks for watching, bye, and that would be enough. Scrooge is very much his same self that he was in the original series, but one thing that I really love about the new show is just the storyline and the history we get of the whole family and all the characters. And when we first meet Scrooge, it really seems like he's really depressed. And we later learn throughout, especially season 1, like why he is that way. But he also grows and like realizes how much he loves and missed his family because something happened that we later learn as to why he doesn't talk to his family at the very beginning of the show. And he becomes like a happier man by just being with his family. Where I feel like he was always like a grump in the original series, but he also was always like up for an adventure. And definitely they had some like longer stories in the sense that there would be some episodes where a story would run for like multiple episodes in the original series. But I feel like, especially in this series, there's like a very overarching plot that goes on throughout each season. And there's even one particular plot that goes all the way through from season 1 all the way to the end of season 3. So there are like little bits of like silliness that you get that are like filler episodes, but there's still something going on that is a plot that happens throughout the whole each season, and like I said, throughout the whole show, which is really awesome. And I feel like we definitely did not get that kind of storytelling in the original series. Okay, sorry, back to the characters. Scrooge is awesome. And like I said, he is still very similar to who he was in the original show in the sense that he is obsessed with adventure and history and money. And he always has his number 1 dime on him. And obviously, he's the most Scottish duck that there is, and he's a gazillionaire. But again, like, those are the things we know and love about Scrooge from the original trilogy, and in this new trilogy, I keep saying trilogy, the things we love about him from the original series, and then in this series, he's all of those things, just plus, like, so much more. Like, you learn so many, like, little things about him that are just, like, so important and amazing, and, like, little hints are dropped. Like in the very first season, we learn that he hates Santa Claus. Eventually you learn why, but it's just so cute. Like, why does Scrooge hate Santa Claus? And you never really find out why. And it's just like little hints and bits of him saying that, and just little things you get about him throughout the entire show that just like build more of his story. And one of the things is that we learn from the very first episode, he hasn't talked to Donald in like 11 years. And we don't really know why, and we actually don't figure it out until the end of the season. He's very grumpy when Donald shows up on his doorstep asking him to babysit the triplets. And the triplets didn't even realize that Scrooge was related to them until that moment. But again, we get hints and stuff, and there's a lot of things that get said that in the moment you don't realize what they were, but that's what makes the show so rewatchable, is the fact that things are said early that you don't really understand, but then as you watch the show and then you rewatch it, you pick up on those things and realize all these clues were already starting to be given to us right at the beginning. Like, I think we get a clue to what happened between Scrooge and Donald. Literally within the second episode, we get a clue that you can't pick up on because you really don't know anything until later. But it's in that second episode that already they're mentioning things that give us a clue to what happens between the two of them. I will talk about Donald a little bit later, but first I want to mention probably the most notable character improvement in the show. Probably this is the most notable because these are definitely the biggest characters in the show, and those are the triplets, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So if you've watched the original series, you know that Huey, Dewey, and Louie are voiced by the same actress. They are voiced by Russi Taylor, and she does the same voice for all three of them, and they are all very much the same in the sense that they wear the same clothes, just different colors. They all kind of have the same personality. They're all junior woodchucks, all this kind of stuff. They're very similar copy and paste triplets in the original series. So in the new series, the triplets all have kind of different outfits. They all still match their color from their original character, but they're wearing different outfits, and each one of them is voiced by a different actor, and they all have one very distinct personality trait about them, which, fun fact, each of their personality traits is representative of Scrooge, which I learned through reading trivia about the show. So like I said, when I mentioned Scrooge, he has his three very dominating personality traits. So when we meet the triplets and we get to learn more about them, we realize that Dewey loves adventure like his uncle, Huey loves history and knowledge like his uncle, and Louie is obsessed with money and gold like his uncle. And even their outfits are very reminiscent of their characters. Like I said, they're all different, but they just match their characters so well. Huey is definitely the most accurate to the original Huey, Dewey, and Louie in the sense that he himself is a junior woodchuck. He wears basically the exact same thing that those characters wore, like the red shirt with the red ball cap. Dewey is actually revealed to be the middle child, so he wants to stand out, he wants to be different, he wants to be popular, so he kind of wears trendy-ish clothes, like a cool t-shirt with a long sleeve shirt underneath. He's very trendy, he loves adventure, he wants to stand out, he wants to be different. And then Louie is very laid back. He does not care about anything as long as he gets his inheritance. He wears a hoodie, and so he's constantly just hands in the pocket, wearing his hoodie, slouching. You very much tell that Dewey and Huey kind of stand up straight. They want to be heard, they want to stand out, and Louie is fine to just kind of lean back and just chillax in his hoodie. Another character that they changed all the characters, but one character that I was actually kind of unsure of in the beginning of the show and the changes that they made was actually Webby. Very early on, I thought that Webby was kind of annoying, and I wasn't 100% sure how I felt about her, but when I think about how she was in the original series, she was very annoying, way more annoying than she was in this, because she was very young and very juvenile and got into, not mischief, but she would cause a lot of accidents because she just didn't really know any better. This Webby is completely different. She stands on her own 2 feet. She is tough. She is brave. She is ready for action. And as the series continued on, I actually really liked these changes that they made to Webby because it made her such a stronger, more independent character, where in the original series, I feel like Webby was kind of the burden a lot of the times. This Webby is not like that at all. She very much dominates everything she does. If they're playing a game, she takes it way too far, and everybody wants to be on her team because they know she will take you down. And I actually really liked that about Webby, and I really liked that change. And I'm not going to say the reveal, even though I know I said I would talk about spoilers, but I'm not going to say the reveal, but the very end reveal that we get in season 3, the very, very end of season 3, I think that made it make a lot more sense why they did this with Webby. The big reveal at the end of season 3 where we learn who Webby's family is besides just Mrs. Beakley. It makes everything about her character makes so much more sense. One thing I did read was the creators of the show, they said that they made the choice to make Webby the same age as the triplets, and they also chose to make them all preteens rather than their younger selves that they were in the original series. And they said that they did this because they felt preteens have more possibilities. They're willing to push the envelope, to challenge the status quo, and to disobey orders, while also being aware that when they mess up, they have to take ownership of those mess ups. And I really liked those changes, and I really liked the reasonings why they did that. It makes a lot of sense based on a lot of story and plot that happens in the show, especially like when things go wrong and them actually learning to take ownership of what happened. I wouldn't say that this is a minor character, but he's definitely more minor compared to like Scrooge, Webby, and the triplets. But probably my favorite character like upgrade that we got in this show was probably Flintheart Glomgold. I've had that poster in my corner there for years now. Don't know if you've ever noticed, I have a poster of Flintheart in my office here. That's from season 3, literally a blink and you'll miss it moment where you see some characters walking down into a bar, and just on the wall, blink and you'll miss it, there's a poster of Flintheart, and it says, "Do not accept checks from this man." Sam and I just thought that was the most hilarious thing in the world, and I actually found that poster on RedBubble, and I had to put it up because that part made us laugh so hard, and Flintheart is hilarious. But again, we get a whole backstory on Flintheart in this show, where in the original series, he was there and he was just one of Scrooge's nemesises, and I don't really know if we got much of a backstory on him. In this series, we get a huge backstory on him. We actually get a backstory on quite a few of the villains in this show, which is awesome. Like, we get a backstory on Magica. We get several episodes like about him, which is awesome, and he's just hilarious. Like, if I had one word to describe Flintheart in this series in particular, it would just be downright hilarious. He is so funny. He is the comic relief in so many episodes, and he makes me laugh out loud. I love him. Also, he has a shark guy. I want a shark guy. But again, even lots of the minor characters in this show, every single one of them that is from the original trilogy, the original series, just gets so much better in this show. The only one I've heard people kind of say they don't like as much in this compared to the original is Launchpad. I disagree. I still like Launchpad more in the new show, but some other examples, like I said, Mrs. Beakley, Magica, and like I said before, even Donald actually gets to be a prominent character in this show, where in the original series, I think he's in like 2 episodes. Maybe. And he's a prominent character. He is in so many episodes. He has a story. He gets to meet Daisy Duck in this show, which I love. We also get appearances from the 3 Caballeros, Ludwig von Drake, who you might know from other Disney properties. But these are Disney properties that we know of, but were never talked about or anything in the original series. Like I said, Donald was maybe in 2 episodes in the original series, so obviously we never got Daisy in the show. We also never got, like I said, 3 Caballeros, Ludwig von Drake, none of them. But also, there's so many more characters in this show that we have never met before, like Mark Beeks, Lena, so many more. Probably the biggest one, big spoiler alert right here, is Della Duck, who is the triplets' mother. And she has an entire whole story that we learn and we experience with her and with the triplets and with Scrooge and everyone. Obviously, Donald is their uncle, so obviously they have a mother out there somewhere. And I think it was somewhere in Disney history that their mother was this Della Duck, but she was never displayed anywhere. And so in this show, we actually get her full story along with like Donald's and everyone's, and it's freaking amazing. One thing as a 90s baby that I absolutely loved about the new series was all the callbacks that they made to the original series. One little tiny one that I noticed was they have a robot, and the robot is called the DT 1987, which is obviously a callback to DuckTales 1987, the year that that show came out. Another thing that I literally was so excited when I heard this, as I mentioned before, Russi Taylor voiced the triplets in the original series, and we have 2 episodes, I believe. One is a flashback episode, and one is a Dewey literally goes back in time episode, where we meet young teenage Donald, and Russi Taylor voices young teenage Donald, which I just love. Also, he's like the cutest emo, you don't understand my feelings type of teenage little duck, and it's so cute. I remember watching one of those episodes with my little brother, and literally the moment young teenage Donald starts talking, we both instantly knew it was the same voice as the original triplets, and we both literally just lost our minds because we thought it was the most adorable little callback that they could have done. There's even one episode where they get zapped into a different reality, and when they're zapped back into their reality, they make references to the original show, basically saying that the reality they got zapped to was the original show, and it was just so cute. They get zapped back. I think it's Louie who says, "What does quackaroonie even mean?" Which is so cute because in the original series, if you know, quackaroonie is kind of the thing that the 3 of them always say, instead of wow or oh my goodness, they say quackaroonie. And so I just thought that was such a cute little callback. They also make callbacks to other things, which I think was meant to open the door to possibly more reboots of old series. They made callbacks to Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Goof Troop, and probably the biggest one that got several episodes was the callback that they made to Darkwing Duck. Speaking of Darkwing Duck, I think it's in season 2 that they have a huge episode that is all about Darkwing Duck, and I have to say that that is probably one of my favorite episodes as someone who not only loved DuckTales but Darkwing Duck as a child and an adult. I remember watching this episode of DuckTales, I believe, I wrote it down. It is season 2, episode 15, The Duck Knight Returns. And in this episode, Launchpad actually gets to meet the actor who plays Darkwing Duck, because in this reality that they live in this universe, Darkwing Duck is not an actual superhero. He's a movie star. It's a TV show. And Launchpad is obsessed with him, and he gets to meet him. And then we learn that they're actually rebooting Darkwing Duck and making a movie, and they didn't ask the original actor to play him, and we meet another actor. And I just remember being thinking it was so weird, because as someone who loves Darkwing Duck, I thought it was so weird that the actor who was Darkwing Duck was not named Drake Mallard. I thought that was so weird. I'm what's going on here? But through the episode, and between this old actor and then the new actor who's going to be playing new Darkwing Duck, we learn that this new actor is actually Drake Mallard, and because crazy stuff happens in this whole episode between the 2 Darkwings, Drake Mallard then becomes an actual superhero, Darkwing Duck, and the old actor kind of goes a little insane, and he actually becomes Negaduck, which you may know is one of the villains from the original Darkwing Duck series. And I just thought that was the coolest way to bring Darkwing Duck into the show. We also get a little bit of an explanation as to why Launchpad is both in Duckburg with Scrooge and the triplets and everything, but also why he's in St. Canard and he is Darkwing Duck's sidekick. We get a little bit of history, a little bit of an explanation. So even little things like that no one was even wondering that. Who actually was how is Launchpad doing both of these things? No one was really thinking those, except maybe me, maybe Sam, because he's weird. Now we actually got a little bit of an explanation, and does it make sense? No. But this is a show about ducks. I could probably go on and on and on and on. I might do a podcast with Sam about just how much I love this show and dive into more things and maybe actually talk about the grand reveal of season 3. But seriously, if you have not watched the show, I cannot recommend it enough. It is such an incredible show. It is so cute. There were several times I was genuinely laughing out loud during this show. It's so funny. It's so clever. The jokes are great. The acting is amazing. Like I said, David Tennant is Scrooge. enough said. All the actors who play the triplets, we have one of the main actors who has voiced Donald over the years playing Donald. We actually even get an episode where Donald can speak normally, and Don Cheadle is his voice, which is hilarious. It's just so good. And like, I have no shame in saying that I like this one better than the original series. Jodey, series. I have no shame in saying that I like this series better than the original series. It's still great. I loved the original series. It holds a place in my heart that no one can ever replace. But this just is so good. They did such an incredible job with this show. The story is amazing. The characters got, like I said, this modern day facelift, and it's amazing. And you gotta watch this show. It is so good. If you like Disney, if you like DuckTales, like, I feel like people are not watching it. Like, I think my brother's girlfriend literally said she is nervous to watch it because she just loved the original so much. But I told her, you gotta give it a chance. It's so good. It makes so many great callbacks and respects the original series while still being modern and doing its own thing and doing more. So give this show a chance. It is so amazing. I promise you, you will not regret watching the new almost 10 years old DuckTales series. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. I want to, like I said, I'm going to maybe do a podcast with Sam. I don't know if this will be out before or after that podcast, but eventually I will record a podcast with Sam, especially since we just finished watching it, so it is very fresh in our minds. I want to do a podcast literally just talking about this show where I can go into much more detail. So look out for that podcast. We are up on Apple Podcasts right now, still trying to figure out how to get onto Spotify and stuff, but we're there, and I would love for you to check that out. But also, if you are not, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single Friday, and I would love to have you here. That is going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching me just rave about DuckTales for 35 minutes. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.